Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. But my name is Daryl, and this is my first YouTube video. Um, what this channel will consist of will be history, spirituality, and whatever else comes to my mind, quite honestly. Which there are many other things I'd like to speak on as well, but it will mainly consist of those two things. Now, after the short introduction, without further ado, I'm going to jump into the video. Now, this video is about, are you happy? Are you happy? Now, if the answer to the question is yes, then good for you. Very happy for you. Many people are not happy. Now, I'm assuming the answer to the question is no, because if it was yes, you would not be here. So, happiness. Happiness is something that I think is often misconstrued by many people. Happiness is not something that is a constant thing, that constant feeling that humans feel all the time. That is not a constant set of being. Like you always hear, happiness is fleeting. Just like any other emotion, any other feeling that we have. But it is something that can be achieved, even though it's something that you have to work very hard on achieving. Because in this world that we live in, it's almost built so that you can't be happy with all the stresses, everything that goes on in the world. You look in the news, people are dying, something's burning. You look in California right now, all of Los Angeles is pretty much burnt down to the ground, burnt to smithereens, which is absolutely wild. So it almost seems like it's not. It's like the world's not built to keep you happy or even make you happy. Neither of those things. Now, my next question after are you happy? And I'm assuming it's no. If you aren't happy, since you aren't happy, are you taking steps toward being happy? And that's mainly what this video is going to talk about. How to achieve happiness. Now, most people strip themselves of their own happiness, or they let other people strip them of their happiness. A lot of people unknowingly strip each other of happiness, or may prevent each other from being happy. And it happens in various manners, various ways. You tell someone your dreams, your aspirations, they shoot it down. They say, oh, you can't do that. Why would you do that? No one's gonna like that. People unknowingly, when they do that, are literally killing somebody's hopes and dreams. Now, most people, I would hope, I'm assuming, even though you shouldn't really make assumptions, but if you're going to make assumptions, it's best to make an assumption that somebody has the best intentions. Because if not, it's going to make you very pessimistic, and being pessimistic all the time, it's not a good thing. Being anything all the time is not a good thing. Even being happy all the time is not necessarily a good thing. Poison. Poison is the excess of anything. You can get water poison, food poisoning, you can get food poisoning from overeating. So there's that. But people unknowingly strip each other of happiness, and you strip yourself of happiness. And I think there are two ways to achieve happiness. The first way, the way humans have mainly been happy for millennia: friends and family. There are studies that show friends and family, having that close-knit community, brings people happiness, because what's really better than having people around you who love and care for you and you feel the same about them? That close-knit. That's why most people think, at least I won't say most people, I believe that, or I know that, having a close-knit group of friends and family is better than having 1,000 acquaintances, 1,000 people who don't really know you and you don't really know them. So at the end of the day, you're still alone. You can be surrounded by 1,000 people and you can still feel like the only person in the room. The second method to achieve happiness, which I think is the method that most people go for nowadays in our modern society, Western civilization, and I tend to agree with this as well, is doing what you want. And when I say doing what you want, I mean doing what your heart desires. That's what will bring you happiness. A lot of people don't do what they want to do. They don't. They work a job they don't want to work. They marry somebody they don't really want to marry. Why? And this occurs because you want to fit in. As humans, the next closest thing to death for us is being ostracized by the community, ostracized by society. We are social creatures. We've evolved and developed to be a part of groups, want to fit in. That's why today we have such thing as cancel culture, canceling. The reason canceling somebody is so effective in deterring someone from speaking the truth or deterring someone from being really happy is because that's another form of death for us, is being alone. No one talking to you, pretty much being casted aside by everyone. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Even me, myself, I don't want that. And it's a lot easier said than done, obviously. Doing exactly what you want, doing what your heart desires. It's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. Like, for example, doing this, starting this. You know how long it took me to start this? To even get in front of this camera and even start speaking. It took quite a while. Because I had in my mind, what is this person going to think? What is that person going to think? What is this person going to think? What are they going to say? What are they going to say about me? But at the end of the day, that does not matter. It does not matter. Because what matters is you. You're the one who has to live your life. You're the one who has to close your eyes at night and deal with yourself and your own thoughts, your own mind, your own heart. None of that matters. None of that matters. And once you're able to understand that none of that matters, it's liberating. It's a liberating thing. Because once you do that, then you're free to do exactly what you want and exactly what your heart desires. Life is hard, but it's simple. It's hard, but it's simple. It's only hard. The game is hard when you take it too seriously. Think about that. The game becomes hard when you take it too seriously. It doesn't become enjoyable anymore. It does not. I, funny example, I don't play video games with my friends. I don't play video games with my friends for the simple fact because I take it too seriously. I take it so seriously that it's not fun. It's not fun at all because I'm taking the game too seriously. Like another example, I played pool with my girlfriend the other day. I got swept 5 games to 0. And it was not fun because I walked into it taking it super seriously. When even at the end of the day, I suck at pool. That was like my 3rd game of pool. But I took it so seriously, it the game became devoid of fun for me because I was putting on myself unnecessary things. Like, for example, in terms of achieving happiness, other people's opinions about you. They aren't you. So what they think can't matter to you. It can't, because if it does, it's going to prevent you from reaching the happiness that honestly we all deserve. We all deserve it. We all deserve to be happy. You were born into this world. You deserve to be happy. As long as you're not going around killing people, cutting people's heads off, being a being a pretty much being, I would use the word, like a better word, mean, being a mean person. Even that's a poor choice of words, to be completely honest. Being somebody who's not of good nature, not of kind nature, going around hurting people intentionally, because we all hurt people. But most of the time it's not intentional. But if you're intentionally hurting people and it's bringing you happiness, there's most likely 99% chance there's something wrong with you. But for the most part, achieving your happiness is not going to hurt anybody. You're only going to hurt yourself, but not by not trying to achieve your happiness. For real. Let me think. There's something else I wanted to talk about in terms of happiness as well. Let's go back to people's opinions. Most of the time, people's opinions on things that involve you have nothing to actually do with you. People have their own preconceptions in their mind, their whole mental setup of how they think things are and how they view things. It doesn't have to do anything with you. If you, for example, if someone doesn't like a big nose and you happen to have a big nose, you can't take that personal. That actually has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how that person views big noses. They view them in a negative light. They view them in a negative light. Because in actuality, there's nothing wrong with having a big nose. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a big nose. I have a gap, as you probably have or could already tell. In essence, there's nothing wrong with having a gap. It's only people's how they feel about a gap, and they project that onto you, and then you start to think, maybe there's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you, because that opinion really doesn't have anything to do with you. It's how the person sees people who have gaps. Simple example. But happiness is something you have to work on your entire life. It's momentary. You have to work on. Once you achieve happiness, you have to keep working on it. Because if you don't, it's going to go away. It probably will go away. And then you have to rework on your happiness. You have to continuously work on being happy. It's very hard to stay happy. It's very hard. It's very hard, especially today. I seen a study. Ages 18 through 25 in the U.S., men and women, all-time highs in depression and loneliness. If you ask a random person on the street, they're most likely lonely. 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, they're lonely. And they're unhappy. They're unhappy because they're not doing what they want to do. They listen to people, and they're also not doing what their heart desires. Your heart speaks to you always. Always. But you have to listen to it. It's a quiet voice. It's a quiet voice most of the time because our minds are muddled with all types of other voices. But your heart speaks to you. Your heart is always speaking. But you have to listen to it. It's a quaint voice. But it's always there. And when you hear it, you know it to be true. But you usually don't listen to it. Most people don't listen to their heart. Most people don't. I don't always listen to my heart. As you can see, I'm starting this YouTube channel. I've been wanting to do this for about 3 years now, and now I'm finally doing it. My heart's been asking me to do this for about 3 years, and I just did it. And to be completely honest, I'm extremely happy right now. I'm extremely happy right now. So, you gotta work on it. Go for that job you want. Quit that job that you have if you're not happy. Because when you die, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret not doing what your heart desired. You're going to regret it. You have one life, and you don't know when you die. You have one life, and you don't know when you die. And you don't know how much time you really have. So can you really afford to waste it? On what other people think? On fear? I don't think so. Actually, I know you can't. I know you can't afford it. Because I can't afford it. No one can afford it. You just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Do what you want. And if you're gonna have to go through a period of pain and strife to achieve said happiness, then so be it. So be it. Great things come out of pain and suffering. Great things come out of pain and suffering. You can't only want the good and not take the bad. Gotta do them both. You have to do them both. Both of them are pivotal to your development and to your happiness. No one has ever been happy and not have been down before the happiness. You gotta work for it. You gotta work for it. You gotta sacrifice for it. You gotta be willing to sacrifice for it. A lot of people sit around and just expect happiness to appear. Happiness is not some magical thing that a fairy comes and bestows upon you. It's something you have to go get. Gotta go get it. Gotta take it. Because if you don't, it'll never come to you. Happiness only comes to those who go to it. And that's a fact. That is a fact. But I hope this video can at least help one person. Because if it helps at least one person, if it reaches at least one person, then I've done my job. I've achieved what I set out to achieve, to help somebody out. Making this YouTube channel to help people out. Cultivate a strong knit community of like-minded people, which will develop over time naturally. Not looking for 100,000 subscribers. Really not even looking to make money out of this. I've acquired many pearls over my short time on this earth, and I think I've acquired enough pearls by this point to start giving them out. Because what's the point? What's the point of having so much if we can't give it back? We don't really need as much as we think we need. Really don't. And since I'm on the topic of my short time on this earth, I am 25 years old. 25 years old. Most people don't see that as young, but everybody I talk to who's over 30 considers me, or anyone under 30, a baby, so I'll go with that. But yeah, there it is. I hope all of you have a beautiful rest of your day whenever you see this. Hope this video was able to reach who it needs to reach, and I will be coming out with many videos in the upcoming future. I thank and appreciate anyone who took the time to listen to this. Very much so. Goodbye.